Second question tonight. Have you guys ever been performing for a wedding where either the bride or the groom, or maybe both of them, disappeared exceptionally early and were like gone for the night? Just unexpectedly that, oh yeah, they were going to be here till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whatever. And it's like 7 o'clock and they're gone. Have you ever had a situation like that?
I had one. It wasn't gone for the night, but it ended up being gone for the night. So basically what ended up happening was that this was early on in my career, and this couple, they realized they forgot their checkbook to pay the venue and everything else. So they ran home to get it. And I don't know where they lived in relation to the venue, but it took them a while to get there and get back, to the point that by the time that they did, and it may have only been 45 minutes, but it felt like it took forever, that their guests went from being 150 to like 20 by the time that they came back. Like they didn't even stick around. They're like, oh, they're not here, and I don't know if they're coming back, so we're gonna leave. Like it was miserable. But it was, I mean, they looked at me and they're like, yeah, I guess we're done early tonight.
Cubbie, have you ever had that instance?
Not that I can recall. I mean, I've had photographers take them out for like super long hours.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, and that kills the party. But nothing that, because I always talk about big endings and, doing the Piano Man or Friends in Low Places with the bride and the groom in the middle, and raising a great big circle of love and singing to them and stuff. And, talk about big endings and big beginnings. So, I've never had them just walk out on me, or somebody gets sick. I kind of was aware of it, but nothing happened to me before.
And mine situations were similar to yours, Dan, from the standpoint that they were early on when we first started. It was much more common. Lori, she still has the best story of I bet she had a half a dozen weddings over the course of a couple of years where the bride or the groom got so drunk when they went bar hopping between the church and the venue that they never made it. And they tried they never made it into the, and one particular one, the groom did the dollar dance by himself. He did the first dance. He did the first dance, I think, with, I don't remember who he danced with, or if he did it like $1. It was
Maid of honor.
Yeah, it was just this weird, but she was just so in bad shape. My only one that was kind of interesting is that the bride and groom, of course, were going to go from the church to the reception hall, and everyone drove themselves, and they were all driving over, and the bride and groom were gone for an extra half hour, and no one knew where they went. And of course, well, yeah, there was the I don't remember if it was a brother or something of the groom said, well, I got to let you know that you're going to probably hear some weird stories, but they've been kind of saving themselves for this day, and they thought they would. Okay. I don't think we'll be talking about that one on a microphone. So yeah, those things happen, but I haven't had anything like that in the last 20 years. Literally, when people are sharing stories about that, someone got so drunk at their wedding, I just maybe. Towards the end of the night, they were pretty lit up, but I've not had that bar hopping lit up type of a situation like we used to have on, probably like once a weekend when there were 4 or 5 of us out. One of us would have a story of somebody being way too drunk at the beginning of the meal. So whether it's being policed by the church is better, I don't know.
I wonder if you just kind of hit on something though, and then maybe this has something to do with the why. You mentioned they were going from the church to the venue, and there was time for them to go places in between. So many of our weddings now, the ceremony and the reception are on site.
Yeah,
and they might do a little bit of time for photos in the middle, but they don't allow themselves time to go and get a drink. Now I have one coming up the end of next month where they kind of said that exact same thing. Like, we were going to go down and get our pictures of this place, and it just happens to be a bar, so we figured we might get a drink. And I told them, I said, listen, you can do that. I said, but one drink's going to turn into 5 because you walk in your dress and you're going to have a bunch of people that are going to buy you a drink. You're not going to leave when you think you are. And so they're kind of nixing that idea. But I think that's part of it. Like, people are not going places, so they don't have I don't want to say they don't have the ability to be overserved, but it's a little bit harder, right? It's unless you're at a venue where the bartenders are, basically who can pull a lever, there's going to be some responsibility there that happens in a little bit closer proximity. So there's probably a couple of things that are leading to that, at least from the alcohol and overindulging standpoint early in the night.
Of course, we talked a little bit about the bar hopping thing, which has become less frequent because of exactly, I think, what you're saying, Dan. But I think looking back at over the years, that has been one of the things that has been the most common for killing the crowd, is that people would go out and, as you mentioned, 1 turns to 5, and it becomes, 15 minutes is all we were going to stop becomes an hour and 15. And the number of times guests have been like, they were supposed to be here an hour ago, and I'm leaving. Well, they haven't served food yet. Yeah, I'm leaving. Or the protest ones who are going to eat the food because they already brought a gift, but then as soon as they're done, they're going to be like, I'm out of here. But we're going to have fun with the dance. Doesn't matter there.
You wasted an hour and a half. You
wasted my time when you should have been here so we could talk. So
when they're waiting, it feels much longer. It feels like they've been there much longer.
For sure. Especially if you know very few people there, and there's always those little dynamics of. So, all right, let's jump to the next one here.